Welcome back into Studio 10 on this fun Friday, and it's exciting Friday. Can't talk. It's an exciting Friday because the Carnival cruise ship is back in Mobile for the first time in a long time. Gianni Navarro has been out there all morning. You just talked to the mayor, Gianni. I know there's a lot of excitement downtown.
There definitely is, Joe. Today is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. It's a Friday. We just welcomed Carnival Sensation, the cruise ship that is here. And we just talked to the mayor, and he is happy. He had a big old smile on his face, and he said, "Good morning, Mobile." So you know he's happy. This cruise ship is actually here because the city is assisting in vaccinating the crew members, 110 crew members on this ship. And this will be the first step in allowing cruises to go back into operation at a U.S. port. So a very exciting moment here today. The mayor couldn't give us a timeline on when cruises will be back up and running out of the port of Mobile, but fingers crossed, he said he hopes by mid-July or June. So we'll see what happens. The CDC is loosening up on the restrictions, but today was a full-on celebration. The band was here, people were smiling. It was definitely a great celebration. So you guys, back to you.
Cervical cancer is one of the most preventable types of cancer according to research. USA Health Mitchell Cancer Institute is committed to making sure ladies are aware and working to prevent cancer with regular screenings and vaccinations. Dr. Jennifer Pierce, who is a gynecologic oncologist, joins us this morning. Thank you for joining us here on Studio 10.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Now, this is such an important segment here that we have on the show. First, we want to talk about what cervical cancer is for folks and ladies at home who aren't familiar with it.
Sure. So cervical cancer is a cancer of the opening to the womb, the part of the uterus that we can actually see in the vagina. But because it's one of the places where our body is open to the outside world, it's a common site of cancer, much like cancers of the mouth or lungs or even GI tract. Those are the places where we think about that can form cancer.
Now, what would be the difference in catching cervical cancer earlier rather than later for someone?
Sure. The most important thing with catching cervical cancer early is that we have ways to catch it before it's even cancer. So we have ways to find pre-cancer cells under a microscope when women wouldn't even know that they had abnormal cells without these tests. And then, unfortunately, cervical cancer is not symptomatic until it is a more advanced stage. So women don't have pain or discharge or bleeding symptoms commonly associated with cervical cancer until it's quite advanced.
Now, we just wrapped up Women's Health Week, which is so important, but
Yes.
It's also so important to make sure you're healthy all year long. What are some things that women can do to make sure that they don't have any cancer cells forming, just to make sure that they're staying safe?
Absolutely. I think so many people feel like cancer is something that just happens to you, but up to 50% of cancers are preventable. So that's the top things that we always talk about. Wearing sunscreen. The most common cancer in the world is skin cancer. Not smoking or working on a plan to quit if you do smoke. This includes vaping. There are carcinogens in vaporizers, and we know that even vaping is not considered safe. This also, we talk about healthy weight, and I know it's so hard for many women, myself included, but making a plan to eat healthier, eat more fruits and vegetables. There are 14 cancers associated with obesity. And so those are the top things on my list. We know that exercise is really great for that, maintaining a healthy weight, and also to do all the other things that keep a woman healthy, including, the number one killer of women is still heart disease. So when we focus on women's health, we think a lot about cancer and a lot about mammograms, but there's so many other things that are so important.
And finally, we do want to talk about regular screenings and vaccinations and why those are so important to women.
Absolutely. So cervical cancer screening has become even more confusing because each woman has a unique recommendation based on her own history, her family history, and when was her last screening. But we know that every male and female adolescent should be vaccinated against HPV vaccine. That prevents up to 6 different types of cancers in men and women. And you can get vaccinated all the way up to age 45, which so many people don't realize. You can be vaccinated at any pharmacy. It doesn't require a doctor's appointment, doesn't require an office visit. And after vaccination, screening is the most important thing. Vaccination alone will not prevent these diseases. And that regular screening, working with a doctor to understand what's the right screening interval for you and what's the right test is so important.
So important here on Studio 10. So if folks at home want to learn more information about what you guys do, but also about cervical cancer, how can they do that?
So where you can find us is USA Health Mitchell Cancer Institute. There's a lot of preventative messages and fairs and opportunities to learn more. And I always send people for information to www.cancer.org. That's the American Cancer Society's website. It's comprehensive, it's detailed, and it has the most up-to-date information.
Dr. Pierce, thank you so much for joining us on Studio 10 this morning. We'll have everything you need to know also on fox10tv.com right under